Hi, today we are talking about feedback form and we're going to understand how we can create PDF files from this feedback form that I have created in Notion. So as you can see in the background, I have got this feedback form open up. So once all the details in this feedback form is filled in and a user clicks on submit, all the responses will be captured under the responses view that you can see under this feedback form. So I've already gone ahead and I've created two different responses from the feedback form. What I want to do is I want to create an automation system wherein I can create PDF files for every response that keeps on generating in this feedback form. So currently this is all the response that I have in this database. And for this automation setup, we will be using a tool known as PDF Output. PDF Output helps you create PDF documents on automation using a Google document with the help of a Notion database. So let us see how it will work. Click on Get Started and simply choose your account from this list. And once you are signed in, we will follow the process for setting up the automation system. So let me quickly sign in over here. So as you can see, I've already signed in inside the PDF output dashboard, and we need to add two things, that is the database of the Notion, and we need to add the Google document. And then we can create a mapping of the properties of the Notion properties onto the Google document, and then we can download the PDFs on automation. First step is adding the Notion database. So I already have this feedback form database open up. Click on this drop down and you can click on add Notion database to add the database. And once the database screen is loading up, what you can do is you can copy the database title that you have over here. So whatever database you have on your workspace, just copy the title of the entire database and go back to the screen, click on next. It provides two options. First is going with a template that I have already given beforehand. If you use this template, it will create a copy of a demo database onto your workspace, which you can use to test out PDF output. But since we are going to add our own database, I will click on select pages and then I will click on select pages once again. It gives you to this screen. Then what we can do is the database title which we have copied from here, we can simply paste the title inside this search pages and it will automatically showcase the feedback form. Click on this and it gets added over here, as you can see. And if you click on the private drop down, you will be able to see the database pop up over here. Okay, so my recommendation always is go inside the search pages window and paste the database title what you have to add the database. Do not add the database by selecting on this pages from here, because if you do that, it will take a while to load the database and your experience may not be smooth. Okay, so always add the database through this search pages window. Another thing that I want to highlight is if your database is using relational and roller properties. So let's say this feedback form database has multiple relation properties and roller properties associated to that. What you can do is for every relation property which is connected to a different database, you need to add all the databases in this search pages. So you need to add the primary database, which is the feedback form in our case. And if there is any secondary databases which are connected to relation properties, you also need to add those database under search pages. If you do not do that, the relation and the roller properties will not be visible later on for mapping section. Okay. So make sure you're adding all the databases under the search pages to see all the properties in one glance. This is very important. So now I have added my database. Click on allow access and it will give access to the feedback form database for my use case. If by any means you're not able to see the feedback form database pop up over here, simply refresh your page once and let it reload and you will be able to see the feedback form database come up over here. As you can see, it is appearing over here. Click on this. Once you click on the feedback form database, if you scroll down, you will be able to see all the properties of the feedback form database that we have over here. So we have question, respondent, feedback, email, all these things. All the properties are also visible over here at the bottom. This will be used to map the properties onto the Google document and we can automate the entire process to create PDF files. So next is adding the document for this. So click on add Google document. You again have two options. If you already have a document on your drive, click on select existing document and you will be able to add any existing document from this selection window. Okay, so you have this selection window open up, so you can add an existing document from this list. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add a demo document because I do not have any existing document. So click on add demo document and it will create a demo document for this entire form. Okay, so you can see it has already created a demo document for my use case. So let me rename this document to something like feedback form template. So I can rename it here. So this is the template file which I'll be using. Okay, this is a customary welcome message, so you can remove this part and I will also remove this placeholders text. So now what you see in this document is every field added. Alongside that, you also have this curly brackets which are placed inside these fields. As an example, we have email property placed inside double curly brackets, and if you see the database, we also have email over here. Similarly, feedback type, first name, last name. So all the fields that you see are also a part of the Notion database. So what the automation will do is it will replace all the values inside double curly brackets from the values fetched from the database, and it will create PDF files on automation. So this is simply a mapping of the properties onto the document to create the PDF files. If you want to map your own properties, scroll down. You can click on copy on any property. Let's say I want to map the first name over here. Go to the document and use Control V or Command V anywhere. So it will simply paste the property onto the document. So you can use Control V or Command V on your keyboard to paste the properties onto the document, as I just did over here. Okay. But I since already have the mapping, so I'm going to remove this. Next, we need to have two more things in place. First is PDF file name. So this is how the PDF files will be named. So I'm going to name the PDF files as per the first name of the user. Okay. So I'm going to select first name from this list, which I've already done. Now all the files which will be generated will be named as per the first name that you see over here. Okay. And if you go back to the database as well, and if you scroll to the right side, you have these two columns show up over here. One is generate PDF, one is PDF files. Under the generate PDF, both the color rows are marked as ready to generate. That means it will create a PDF file for both these rows, and it will store the PDF files right inside this database. Okay. So once the PDF files are processed, it will directly save the PDF files over here. So this is very important. So you can just mark it as ready to generate, and then the PDF files will be created. So everything is set up. Let me click on download PDF, and now it will generate the PDF files right over here. If you're not able to see the PDF files come up, just refresh the entire process because it needs to reload, and then it will create the PDF files right inside the database. So we are expecting the file to come up. So you can see it is marked as completed and the file is generated over here. Let me click on this. Let's see how the output has come out to be. And you can see it has already mapped all the fields that we wanted to be mapped. So everything that we had in the database has been correctly mapped from the Google document. Okay. So from the database, everything has been fetched and all the things have been replaced on the document, and the PDF file has been created for us. Let's see the second one. This is also in the same process. So we just created two files with the correct mapping. Okay. Now a beautiful thing about this tool is that once everything is in place for the first time, you can click on set up Notion automation. This will create an automation forever. So now when you will add new records in the database, you can simply mark the record as ready to generate. It will automatically create the PDF files right inside this. You do not need to go back to PDF output to generate the documents manually. Okay. So all you need to do is click on Setup Notion Automation and keep on adding more and more records as and when it comes out to be. Simply mark it as ready to generate. The files will be processed and it will be saved inside this PDF file column for your reference. This is the beauty of using the tool. Everything happens hands-free, so you do not need to worry about setting up the automation and doing the changes. Okay, this is how you can take advantage of PDF output to create the PDF files. So I hope this entire explanation was clear to you. If you still have questions, go to the chat bubble at the bottom of the screen and you can send me a message with your queries. I'll be able to take up the issues on this. Or else you can take advantage of the contact section that is there at the bottom of the screen, and you can send me a message with whatever issues you have. I'll be happy to take up the issues. You even have an option to book a free demo, so you can click on book free demo and I will help you walk through the entire process and explain you how this operation works. Okay. So that's it for the demonstration. And if you closely observe, it has already started processing this file which we had added, and very soon the document will pop up over here. And similarly, it will also process the second one and create a PDF file right